Welcome back, students. So let's continue with the solid state chapter. And in this chapter, in the last part, we have discussed some of the questions and numerical problems related to solid state. Now, as you know that in the last year, the pattern of the board examination paper has been changed. Okay, so in the new pattern, the new type of questions are included in our course, and that type of questions are of two types. They are the first new type of question which we are going to see is case study based questions. Okay, case study based questions, or you can also call them as the questions based on the paragraph given, okay, or the comprehension questions. Okay, so here I am giving you a paragraph, and you have to read this paragraph, and after that the questions are a question related to this paragraph are being asked here, which are multiple type questions only, and we have to answer these questions here. Okay, so this type of questions are being asked in new pattern examination. And after that, the second type of question I am going to discuss after discussing this type of comprehension type questions or this paragraph based questions. Okay, so first let's read this paragraph, and what is written here, let's get through it. In the crystalline solid, the smallest repeating part of the lattice is known as what they are called, what we call them, we call them as unit cell. Okay, in a crystalline solid, the solid smallest repeating part of the lattice is known as the unit cell, and this unit cell repeats itself to form a single lattice, and this lattice repeats itself to form the crystal. Okay, so this thing we know, and we have discussed this thing before in our chapter. Okay, then the unit cells, it means that the paragraph will be related to the topic which you have studied in your chapter only. Okay, the unit cells are described as point at all the corners. Okay, the unit cells can be of two types. Now you know that one was primitive unit cell and the other one was centered unit cell. Okay, one was primitive unit cell and another one was centered unit cell. Then in centered unit cell, body centered unit cell was the first type, where in the primitive was there that all the lattice point will be present at all the corners. Okay, only at the corners of our lattice, while in case of body centered unit cell, what will be there, we will see that points, lattice points will be present at all the corners. Okay, lattice points will be present at all the corners and in the center of the lattice, and in the center of the lattice. Then next one is the face centered unit cell. Okay, here points at all the corners are present. Okay, all the particles are present at the 8 particles will be present at the corners, and on the six faces of the lattice. Okay, on the six faces of the lattice the particles will be present out there. And the last one, the last type was the end centered. Okay, the last type was the end centered, in which corner atoms were there, and center of the two opposite opposite end faces. Okay, it is end faces, opposite end faces are there. The unit cells, this type of unit cells we have studied, primitive unit cell and the centered unit cell, and in that body centered, face centered and end centered unit cell we have studied. Now, in two common types of packing, they after that here it is given about the closed packing. So majorly two type of closed packing was there. One was CCP, cubic closed packing, and the hexagonal closed packing. Which was the highest? Which was the closed packing having the highest percentage of packing efficiency? Okay, and in that only 26% was unoccupied. Only 26% of the space was left unoccupied. Okay, in the form of interstitial sites. In the form of interstitial sites, only 26% was left out in the cubic close packing or the hexagonal close packing. Then, for stable ionic crystalline structure, okay, for stable ionic crystalline structures, there is a definite radius. There is a definite radius ratio limit for a cation to fit perfectly in the lattice of an ion. Okay, so this ratio was known as radius ratio. When the ratio of the radius of the cation to the ratio of the anion was taken, so that ratio is known as a radius ratio, and it gives the stability. Thus, for a stable ionic crystalline structure, the definite ratio limit for a cation to fit perfectly in the lattice of the anion is called radius ratio. Okay, this also defines that this radius ratio also defines that the coordination number of an ion. On the basis of this radius ratio, we have also studied the table in which we have given that for a particular radius ratio, this is the coordination number. Okay, so which is the number of the nearest? What is the coordination number? It is the nearest neighbor of the opposite charges present in the lattice. Okay, it is the nearest neighbor of opposite charges present in the lattice. This depends upon depends upon the ratio of the radii, okay, of two types of ions. This depends upon the ratio of the radii of the two types of ions, which were one cation and one anion. So r plus means radius of cation divided by r minus radius of anion. Okay, next, this ratio for coordination numbers are the ratios for the coordination number 3. The coordination number 3, it means an atom and particle is touching three neighbor particles. Next, the coordination number 4. Next, the coordination number 6. And the last coordination number is 8. Okay, for the coordination number 3, 6, 4, and 8, the respective radius ratios are: for 3, it will be between 0.155 to 0.225. Okay, for coordination number 4, it will be between 0.225 to 0.414. For the coordination number 6, it will be between 0.414 to 0.732. Okay, and for the coordination number 8, it will be between 0.732 to 1.00. Okay, so these informations are been provided in our uh, comprehension. Okay, and on the basis of this paragraph or the comprehensions only, we have to give the answers of the following questions which are asked below. Okay, so let's start to answer the questions. So what is the first question asking here? Let's see. Okay, here the first question is asking here the number of atoms per unit cell in simple cubic cell, body centered cubic unit cell, face centered cubic unit cell, and end centered cubic unit cell. Okay, end centered cubic unit cell decreases as, means this we have to arrange the simple unit cubic cells S. Okay, it is denoted by S. The body centered unit cubic cell B, the face centered unit cubic cell F, and the end centered unit cubic cell E, in the according to in the descending order. Okay, in the ascending order, in the descending order, according to the number of their unit cells per unit. Okay, per unit cell, according to the number of particles in their per unit cell. So as we know that in simple cubic cell, 8 atoms were present in the corners, and each atom was giving its 1 by 8th contribution to the one unit cell. So here how many atoms are there? Only one atom contribution is there. While in case of body centered, 8 in the corners, which are contributing 1 by 8th part of it, and 1 at the center. So hence here two particles or two atoms are contributing for a body centered cell, unit cell. Then for face centered, 8 at the corners and 6 at the 6 at the 6 faces, 6 particles at the 6 faces, out of which each are contributing their half. Okay, half for a unit cell. So here it becomes 3 plus 1, 4 atoms. And for end centered also, 8 at the corners plus plus two units, two atoms will be present at the end faces, two end faces which are opposite to each other, and they are contributing half of their for a unit cell. So hence here 1 plus 1, 2 atoms are there. So if I am going to arrange them on the descending order, then it becomes like this: F, okay, F is greater than B is greater than E is greater than S. Okay, F is greater than B is greater, sorry, B is equal to, not greater than, it must be here, B equal to E greater than S. So can you find which option it is? Here the option is B. So our correct answer is option B. Okay, so like this we have to solve this type of questions here. Okay, I have given you the idea how to solve this type of questions, and you can easily see that the questions are not directly based on the paragraph, but it is based on the topics which are given in your paragraph only. Okay, or the comprehension which is provided to you. So you have to you have to read the paragraph also, but you have to keep the total topics gist in your mind. Okay, without that summary or the thing, if you are not keeping in your mind for that particular topic which is asked or which is described in your comprehension, then it will not be easy for you to solve this type of questions. It will create a huge confusion there, because you will see that the direct answer was not given here in the paragraph for this question. Okay, so we have to take out the summary or the gist of this particular topic here. Let's see the next. Then in the next question, you are seeing bottom here that it is asking here that gold crystallizes. It is given an example of a gold crystal. Okay, it has given here the example of a gold crystal. It is a face centered unit cell. It is saying that gold crystal is FCC. Okay, it is having a face centered unit cell and the gold crystals, and the edge length for this is given, A is equals to 0.410 nanometers. 0.410 nanometers. You have to find out here the radius of the gold atoms. Okay, you have to find out here the radius of the gold atoms. Okay, so I am going to give you the part which I have given you, which I have made you to study in the chapter part. Okay, that we have studied this thing in the, when we are discussing about the chapter, that for simple cubic cell the value of R was equal to A by 8, where A is the edge length. Okay, for FCC it was R is equals to A by, sorry, not A by 8, one second, it is A by 2 for simple cubic unit cell. It is A by 2. For FCC it is A by root 8, and for BCC, for body centered, it is R is equals to root 3 A upon 2, root 3 A upon 4, not 2, root 3 A upon 4. Okay, so this is the values for the radius. Okay, this is the formula for the radius. You can directly find out the radius of the atom by using this formula. Okay, here A is the edge length. So as we are having here BCC, sorry, FCC. So for FCC, the formula is A upon under root 8, and value of A is given to us. It is 0.410 nanometers. So here the value of radius of atom of gold will become 0.410 divided by under root 8. Okay, which on calculation it will comes out to be 0.145 nanometers. 0.145 nanometers. Okay, or you can also I'm making you some easy for you here. 0.410 divided by 2 under root 2. I can write it like this. Okay, so divide this 2 from here, and after that 1.414 will be left out here. So the left out thing must be divided by 1.414, and after that the left out thing will be 0.145 nanometers here. Okay, so this is our answer. The answer will be option number C. The answer will be option number C here. Okay, next let's move further. Okay, so you have seen here also in this question also that the question is related to the topic which has been described in your comprehension, but it is not having the direct relationship, okay, with the comprehension here. Next, the third question is asking here in a cubic lattice of xyz, x atoms are present at all the corners except one corner. Okay, it is corner here, except one corner. Okay, is occupied, except one corner is occupied by y atoms. Okay, except one corner which is occupied by the y atoms. Z atoms are present at the center. Okay, at the center, they are present at the center. Now the formula of the compound is, we have to find out the formula of the compound here. Okay, so let's see how we can find out. Okay, so here it is asking that cubic lattice xyz, in the cubic lattice xyz, three different atoms are there, and out of which x atoms are present at all the corners. Okay, it means that at all the corners x are present. It means that here it will be 7. Okay, and each is contributing how much? 1 by 8th of its part. And for y it is 1. Okay, for y it is 1, and for z it is asked here, z present at the center, face center. Okay, it is present at the face center. So for z, if it is present at the face center, then what will be there? Then 6 into 1 by 2 must be there. Okay, 6 into 1 by 2 must be there. So here the value will become, okay, so here the value becomes 7 by 8, 1 and 3. This is the contribution. This is the contribution here. Now the formula here becomes x 7 by 8, y and z 3. But you know that we cannot keep the empirical formula in the fractional form. So in order to make it a whole number, we have to remove this fractional 8. So how we can remove this 8? We can remove this 8 by multiplying 8 with the equation here. So here it will become x7 y1 z24. So our answer is D. Okay, so how we have solved it? First, you have to take this x. For x, 7 atoms are present at the corner and 1 by 8 of it will be there. So 7 by 8 is the contribution of atoms there. Next, for 1, only 1 is there. So it will be 1 by 8. Okay, it will be 1 by 8. So 1 by 8 is there. Okay, then for z, it is 6 into 1 by 2 is equals to 3. So it will be 3 there. So the formula becomes x 7 by 8, y 1 by 8, z 3. Okay, so x 7, on dividing, on removing this fractional 8 here, we have to multiply 8 by the whole formula. Okay, it means we have to make it like this. Here we have to multiply 8 here. Then the answer becomes like this: x7, y1 and z24, which is your option D, which is your option D. Okay, next, the ionic radii of K plus, Rb plus and Br minus. The next question here. Okay, the ionic radii of K, K plus, Rb plus and Br minus is given as 137, 148, 195 picometer. Okay, it is given here. We have to find out here the coordination number of the compound RBBr, rubidium bromide and potassium bromides. Coordination number we have to find out here. Okay, so as it is given in your comprehension only that the radius ratio means R plus divided by R minus. Radius of the ratio of the radius of cation to the radius of anion is directly related to the coordination number. Okay, so first we have to find out the radius ratio here. So for RBBr, let's find out here. So for RBBr, the radius ratio will be RB is 148 for cation and for anion it is 195. So the radius ratio becomes here 0.758 or you can take it as 0.76. Okay, next the radius ratio for KBr, radius ratio for KBr, it will be 137 divided by 195. Okay, so here its answer, so hence here the answer becomes 0.702. Okay, so in the comprehension this thing is been mentioned out there. Okay, so let's directly check this from the comprehension only. So there, here you can see that at the bottom part here they have mentioned and related the coordination number with the radius ratios directly here. Okay, so in which range our coordination number is coming, let's see here. The radius ratio which we have got for RBBR, it is RBBR, it is 0.76. So 0.76 means it is in between 0.732 and 0.732 and 1. So here the coordination number will be 8 for RBBR. Okay, for RBBR it will be 8, and for KBR the value for radius ratio is 0.702. It means it is between this range, and for this range the coordination number is 6. So hence for KBR the coordination number becomes 6. Okay, now you can directly answer here. The answer is that 8 comma 6 will be our answer here. Okay, 8 comma 6 will be our answer here. So let's see which option is 8 comma 6 for the values here. 8 comma 6. Okay, it is the first option only, A. So our answer becomes here 8 comma 6, A option. Okay, so you can see that some of the questions are directly related to the comprehension, but you have to first find out some of the values. Okay, so this type of questions are being asked in the comprehension type questions. Okay, let's move to the last question which is asked here. Here, a face-centered cubic lattice of a metal capital M and a body-centered cubic lattice of metal capital N contain the same number of atoms, 2.25 into 10 to the power 22 unit cells. How many unit cells are there? They are containing same amount of unit cells, that is 2.25 into 10 to the power 22 unit cells. Okay, if the density of capital M is greater than that of the capital N, then we have to find out here the ratio between the number of the atoms per unit cell for them. Okay, 4 options are given. According to that we have to find out here. So as you know that for FCC the contribution of atoms are 4. How we have calculated it? 8, 1 by 8 into 1 by 8 into 8 plus 6 into 1 by 2. So here 3 plus 1 it becomes 4. So 4 atoms contribution for FCC. And for body center BCC, it is 2. 8 into 1 by 8 plus 1 at the body center, so it is 2. So here the ratio becomes, here the ratio will become 4 is to 2, 4 is to 2, and our answer becomes 2 is to 1. So hence our option C is correct. Okay, so this type of questions will be seen in the comprehension type questions. Okay, let's move to the next comprehension type question. As you can see that these are tricky questions. Okay, these are tricky questions. They are not directly related to the paragraph which is asked there. Okay, so now the next question here what it is saying that in a hexagonal system of crystal, okay, here it is described about a HCP, hexagonal close packing. Okay, the compression is based on hexagonal close packing. So here in hexagonal system of crystals, a fixed frequently encountered arrangement of atom is described as a hexagonal prism. Okay, it is described as a hexagonal prism. Here the top and the bottom of the cells are regular hexagons. The top and the bottom of the cells are regular hexagons, and three atoms are sandwiched in between them. It means that a hexagonal layer is present at the top. A hexagonal layer is present at the top. So I am denoting this hexagonal layer here. This is a hexagonal layer. Okay. And at the bottom also a hexagonal layer will be there. Like this. And between this, the top and the bottom cells are regular hexagons, and three atoms are sandwiched in between them. And here in between them, three atoms are sandwiched between them. Okay, here three atoms will be sandwiched here. So this was your hexagonal close packing. You have studied this thing in your solid state chapter also. A space filling model of this structure called hexagonal close pack. Here this type of structure is known as HCP. You have studied this thing in your chapter. Is constituted of a sphere of a flat surface surrounded in the same plane by six identical spheres. Okay, as as closely as they possible. Three spheres are then placed over the first layer so that they touch each other and represent second layer is covered with the three layer that is identical to the bottom layer in relative position. Assume radius of every sphere to be small r. Okay, assume that the sphere's radius is small r here, and let's answer the question which is asked here for this. So here the close packing, in this type of close packing, they are asking that, sorry, they have mentioned here that for this type of close packing, the first question is asking here, the first question is asking here, question number 1, the number of atoms in this hexagonal close packing unit cell is. Okay, you have to find out the number of hexagonal number of atoms in the hexagonal close packing here. So options are given: A 4, B 6, C 12, D 17. How many atoms are present here in this unit cell? Okay, so here you can see that only six, okay, only six atoms will be, or only six particles will be present here. Okay, in the hexagonal close packing, when we are seeing hexagonal close packing there, then how the six are participating here? See here, when we are considering hexagonal close packing there, then only six atoms are participating here. Okay, only six atoms are participating, and that six are contributions are seen here. Why? Because in hexagonal close packing, half of every atom is participating or contributing its half of its part, and half part is given to the bottom unit cell. Okay, in the case of bottom one, and in the case of upper one, the upside unit cell will also be contributing, this particular atom will be contributing in the upside also there. So this half of contribution here gives that what becomes 12 into 1 by 2. So here how much atoms contribution is there? 6 atoms contribution comes out. Okay, so hence our answer is 6, which is the option number, which is your option number B. Okay, now let's see the next question. Question number 2. The volume of this HCP unit cell is given by. Okay, so first options are here: A 24 under root 2 r cube, B 16 under root 2 r cube, C 12 under root 2 r cube, and D 64 by 3 root 3 r cube. So you have studied this thing in your chapter also, that how to find the volume. So the formula of volume is A cube. Okay, and the value of A for HCP is given by. So how to find out here? As you know that the edge length here will become, the edge length will become 6 into 6 into, okay, edge length, not edge length, the length, the base area of the regular hexagon. Okay, the base area of hexagon, here it will become 6 into, and the edge length here is under root 3 by 4 a square. Okay, this is the base area. Then for the volume here, we require the height of the unit cell also. The height of unit cell also will be required here. So it will be equal to 4 into r under root 2 by 3. Okay, 4 into r under root 2 by 3. Now the volume will be equal to base area into height. Base area into height. So hence our volume becomes 6 into under root 3 divided by 4 a square into 4r under root 2 upon 3. Okay, 4r under root 2 upon 3. Okay, sorry, I have written here a square. It is not a square, it is r square. Okay, it is r square. So r square, r square. So here you can see, after cancelling root 3 and root 3 gets cancelled out here, this 4 gets cancelled out here. Okay, so the left out will be 6 into here the left out will be 6 into under root 3 r square 4 r upon, okay, this 4 is not there. Oh, I have written this 4 here. No, no, no. One mistake more is there. Not divided by 4. No 4 is there. Okay. So here the value becomes 6 into under root 3 r square, 6 under root 3 r square, okay, and 6 under root 3 r square into 4 r under root 2 by 3. So this root 3 and this root 3 get cancelled out here. 6 into 4 24 under root 2 r cube. So our option is option A will be the correct answer. Okay, option A will be the correct answer here. Next, question number 3, what is it is asking here? In question number 3, it is asking here the empty space in an HCP unit cell is option A 74%. This one is a tricky question. You have to very careful answering this type of question. Okay, here read the question 2 to 3 times before answering this type of questions, because here the question has been deceived. This type of question deceives generally the students, because here it is asking here the empty space, and in hurry the student, what will he do? He will readily tick out this answer, that the answer will be 74% here. But here it is asking the empty space, not the space occupied. It is asking the space which is unoccupied in the HCP. Okay, so for the space which is unoccupied here, it will be is equals to, it will be is equals to 100 minus 74, which is 26%. Okay, so your answer becomes D. Your answer becomes D, which is 26%. Okay, so these were the comprehension type of questions, and I have told you in this session that how to solve this type of questions. Okay, in the next session we will try to solve the assertion reasoning type questions and some more type of MCQs which is asked generally in your board exam paper. So thank you for watching this video, and we will continue our lesson in the next class. Thank you. Be safe and be at home.